We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Coffee Thoughts. I'm here with my co host, Miss Francine Gregory, for Coffee Thoughts and Conversations. She is the real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. So sit back and relax and let's just have a conversation this morning. How you doing, Fran?
I am well. How are you?
All is well.
Yes, it is. Today's Monday. We're having a happy Monday.
Today we were talking. Everyone, this is
Oh,
Biz Chicks TV.
sorry. But we're having a happy Monday. And we just want to say thank you for tuning in with us. And we were having our guest, Gayle Guest-Brown. She may be popping in a little later. But right now, we're going to have some fun.
What are we talking about today, Fran?
Hey, Jill, how are you doing? We are talking about picture it.
Mm.
Picture it,
Mm-hmm.
ponder it, and then go do it. Um, I was listening to something. It was the Winner's Way, I believe it was, and he was talking about the imagination. And we talk to our clients all the time about their daily routine, and in that daily routine, there's the daily briefing,
mm-hmm.
which is what you checking in with God and figuring out what your day is going to be like. But also in that time of the daily briefing, aka prayer and meditation, the definition of meditation means to get this, imagine and ponder.
Mm.
To meditate, you imagine and you ponder. So you may have written something down that you wanted to have done, but then you take time and you kind of think about it. You
Think
meditate
on
on
these things.
you think on it but not just thinking, you're using your imagination to picture it.
So vision.
So you're picturing in your mind whatever that thing is that you said that you wanted to do,
Ah.
the thing you wanted to be, the person you wanted to be, whatever it is, you are thinking, you are imagining, just sitting and like, daydreaming. Things that may have escaped us as we grew up and where adults and other people told us, get real. And getting real may not been the best advice that they could have given you.
And telling us really that we're thinking too big.
Right.
You need to tone that down. Which essentially we're telling them the thing that we don't like to tell our kids, which is dumb that down.
Right. And why would they tell you to dumb that down when that's the very thing that's going to take you to where you need to go?
I think because, well, here it is. It's all about fear. Because we're concerned about them getting their little hearts broken, disappointment, all the things that we may have experienced or others have ingrained in us that will happen if we think too big. And
Right.
we don't achieve it. Will it break our hearts? Will it break our spirits? Those kinds of things. So because we care about them, we ask them
We
not
need
to
to help
reach
them.
so
We
high.
need to help them keep it real. Don't bring that down. So I talked about it today in an example. Was I was listening to the Pearsons on another broadcast, and
Mm-hmm.
the family, the husband and the wife and the two kids, every year they write a list of what they are believing for, what they
Okay.
want to see come to pass in their lives for that year, and they
Mm-hmm.
write down on a sheet of paper what that looks like. What do you see, that what do you want? Just write it down. So the little boy wrote on his paper, I want a house that has a go-kart track and a soccer field. And his
Mm,
mom was going to be like, now I'm going to use Billy, but his name wasn't Billy. Now, Billy, she was about to say, now, Billy, let's,
mm-hmm,
and God said, no, don't do that. Don't stop his dream or his vision. Just
mm-hmm.
don't say anything. Well, that's nice. What did we learn in school? If you can't say
Say
something,
something good.
keep your
Don't
mouth
say.
shut. Or if you can't encourage, or if that dream seems too
Mm,
big for you that somebody else is telling you about, wow, that's nice. Keep your mouth shut. Because it might be a choking point for you, but for that person, it's not the choking point. So fast forward a few months, they're out, they're looking at homes, and when you're nowadays, when you're shopping for a home, you can get the Google Earth view,
uh,
and you
uh-huh.
can get views, drone views and all kind of stuff, so you
Street
can see what,
views.
yeah, so you can see what the house looks like from the top. You can see all around. There was a house that had the go-kart track and the soccer field, because the people who lived there, their kids played soccer and they wanted to have a go-kart. And this
See.
was not even in the same area where they lived. So
Mm-hmm.
the little boy saw go-kart and soccer field in the backyard. We cannot stifle our own dreams by
Mm-hmm.
not dreaming, or
Yes.
stifle the dreams of somebody else, or the visions, or the imaginations.
Mm-hmm.
So to meditate means to imagine, to ponder, like, wonder what that would be like to have all your bills paid, or your
Mm-hmm.
business up and running, thriving like you see it. Hmm. Oh, I see that. I see people coming to me. I see my meditation moments going out to the world. I see my whatever it is. I see it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see?
I see thousands of bitch chicks
What do you
doing business
see?
all over
What are
the.
you imagining?
Mm,
What do you imagine? You said something that was very interesting this morning about imagination.
oh yes, I was explaining that I find it very hard, very difficult now to imagine things because my imagination has been so stifled by the culture. Don't dream that big. It's not going to happen over and over again. You don't want to be disappointed. Da 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 da. And so you tend to turn off your ability to dream. I call them. I've been a victim of dream assassination. Uh, and now I've got to turn on my ninja skills and the matrix stuff and start
And move out the way.
out the way and allow myself to actually dream. Because there are actually dream assassins. And I think, Francine, I think we know that. That's why a lot of times we encourage people when they're starting a business not to share it with everyone. Um, when I started my business, I didn't even tell my family till after it was up and running and I had made a profit.
You said something about the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Matrix fan.
Yes.
So here's the deal. Everybody, well, not everybody. Well, the enemy also saw
Mm.
that he was the one.
Yes.
And everybody around him saw that he was the one, except for one dude. But everybody around him saying he was the one. So
Mm-hmm.
they were telling him, "You're the one, you're the one." He was like, "The one what? What are you talking about?" He couldn't see himself as the one. And
Mm.
until he could see himself as the one, he wasn't able to do anything. He wasn't able to help anybody because he didn't have the confidence that he needed
To proceed. Uh-huh.
as the one. Although he was the one, He's the one with the assignment. He was the one that was handpicked. He had the abilities, he had the skills. He just couldn't see himself with it. He couldn't
Wow.
see it. And
Wow.
that
So
will take some time too.
what opened his eyes?
I think he really started to believe at the
Did
end of the
somebody
movie.
speak into him?
Well, people spoken to him. A lot of them was telling him that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people was telling him that, but he wasn't getting it. So it had to be several people telling him there is no spoon. There's all these little things people were kept trying to tell him, you're the one, you're the one, you're the one. And then when he was standing there and he was partially believing, and then Mr. Anderson, the dude with the glasses, kept trying to tell him, he kept trying to put him back in the cubicle, in the office cubicle.
Mm-hmm.
It's inevitable that you are going to die, and he was coming after him to steal his dream. And you got to watch The Matrix. Just gonna tell you,
Yeah,
find it on
evidently I'm
Netflix
gonna have
or
to watch it
something.
again now that I know what to look for.
And so at near the end of the movie, when the bullets were coming at him and he thought he
Mm-hmm.
was dead, he woke up and said, hold on a minute. And they kept trying to shoot at him and he just went like this. The bullet stopped and dropped. He didn't even have to fight as hard as he did previously. Although
Mm-hmm.
we like the fight scenes, he didn't have to fight as hard as he did before because he was like, you know what? I ain't gonna put up I'm the one. And then he went like this and looked at them and they was like, oh wait, he woke up and he realized who he was, and they left the challenges, the adversary
The
ran
drunk
from him.
race.
The adversary ran from him the moment he woke up and found out who he was.
I'm
But
just
he had
saying.
to wake up to
Mm-hmm.
see who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So Jill says being still and being quiet creates space to remember how to dream and manifest. Take care of dream assassinators. Don't be your own dream assassinator.
Exactly. Because after a
Profit.
while, you take it on. It's like Stockholm syndrome. You begin to act it out in your own life because you've been in captivity so long.
And the other part of that, see, your imagination works for the good or the bad. You can
Mm-hmm.
imagine the worst thing happening, even though things around you are not the worst thing that could happen. But if you imagine it to be so,
Mm-hmm.
it will be so for you because that's what you imagined it to be. You've painted this picture that it's going to be bad. And it's going and this is all a result of the things that you're listening to. Your environment helps you to embrace a particular uh, side of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to go forward or is it going downhill? You get to decide that. And then your imagination helps you paint the picture of it. So you take in information from your environment.
Mm-hmm.
What is your environment telling you? You'll never make it. Okay, you need to get off the boat because we're going to the other side. We are going to make it. We're going to succeed in our endeavors. And so you have to have people around you that are going to speak into you speak life into your dream. You have to speak life into your dream. You have to listen to life.
Mm-hmm.
You have to imagine life, imagine better, imagine bigger. And this is the assignment that we gave everybody on the call today. Write down something huge that you see yourself doing. Just write it down. Shaking, pen shaking, legs shaking, whatever. Write the thing on a piece of paper and imagine it. Imagine doing it. Imagine having it. Something so big like, oh my God, where they would tell you, shh, don't do that. That's the thing that you imagine. That's the
Mm-hmm.
thing that you become big. Because you didn't start this business to be small. and
No,
insignificant.
indeed.
You believe that you could do something better. You believe that you could do something bigger. But now, are you going to be small and insignificant in it, or are you going to go big?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, when I like to swim, and so on the high dive at the pool, now I know how to swim, so that
Mm-hmm.
part's taken care of. I know what to do in the water. I had water safety. I know what everything to do I'm supposed to do in the water. But walking up on the high dive, if you start looking down and looking around like, oh my God, what am I doing? You will back up and walk back down that ladder.
Mm-hmm.
So now, instead of walking back down the ladder, the first time I went off, I just like, okay, walk up the stairs and just go. I didn't even dive. I just jumped off and went in, because you have to do the big thing. You got to just go do the big thing and get it out the way.
Yes.
So jump off the diving board if you know how to swim. And Mark says, it's about directing faith. We always have faith. It's either faith in our impending failure or destruction or doom, or in our ultimate success and victory. Be conscious of where you are directing your attention and expectation. Excellent
Mm-hmm.
point, Mark. And Janice says, if you pray for what you want and let God show you your dreams, and He will make it come true, and your imagination will be positive.
Love it.
So I'm encouraging you all, jump off a board, do
Go
something
for it. Go
that
for it.
that seemed insurmountable for you.
Mm-hmm.
Write down on a piece of paper something big. Imagine. I mean, a while back, I talked about taking daydream breaks. I think we should daydream every day. I really do.
And
We
I talked about creating that dream button. Remember? Yeah.
need to dare to daydream every single day. Put it on the agenda for the day. In your meditation time, just sit there and imagine what it would look like. That's what Walt Disney did.
Mm.
And now we have Disneyland, Disney World, Disney California Adventures, Disney in Paris. We got Disneyland everywhere. And Disney is running everything in media right now.
Yep. And they're about to break out. They start their own channels and all kinds of things going on. There are streaming networks and uh, but let me ask you this. This morning you spoke about the guy in the deep freeze. Talk about that. How our imagination can work against us if we don't use it wisely. I guess that's the way I want to put it.
So there was a story of a guy who got locked in a deep freezer at work, whether it
Mm-hmm.
was a meat packing plant or another place where they had a deep freeze. He got locked in on the weekend when everybody was going home. And, nobody knew that he was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so he's in there and he's thinking about, oh my God, how am I getting out? And I'm not going to get out of here. Oh my gosh. And he didn't think he had a way out. So he wrote a note to his wife, telling her that I love you, and I'm da 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 da, his final note or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And after the weekend passed, they found him in there frozen to death. And the people who went in to get him was like, well, I don't understand how he's frozen to death because the freezer is not working. Meaning
Mm.
it was cold, but it wasn't freezing like it's
Freezing.
supposed to because it was broken. They
Mm-hmm.
said, I don't understand how he did
He
that.
managed to freeze to death.
Exactly. He froze to death in his mind,
He succumbed to his thoughts.
to his imagination.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
And I'm like,
imagination can work adversely also if we are not careful to keep a guard over. just like Mark said.
Right. And Mark said a good place to begin is often, if I were brave, I would, and fill
I
in the
like it.
blank. That's great, Mark.
I like that.
If
I
I were
like that.
brave, I would.
Hmm.
If you were brave, what would you
AJ.
do? Maybe it's something that you want to post on our page and let us know, or maybe it's
Hmm.
something you want to keep to yourself. That's fine. But if I were brave, I would. What would you do?
There you go. Wow.
What would you do?
Wow. Would you wear that sundress? Would you would you put on that swimsuit? Would you oh, I love this commercial that comes on that where the young lady is calls everybody in the break room for cake, and at the top of the cake it says I quit. And then the next scene is her opening her own bakery. It's like, okay, that's brave. Okay, because you don't have a safety net when you open your own business. It's just sink or swim. So yeah, that's brave.
What
When
would
you
you
launch out,
do?
when you launch out into the deep.
Would you make that phone call?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It could be to a friend or a family member or something. Would you make the call? Would you approach that person who may be able to help you with something?
Would you ask?
Mm. So that was one of the other things. We teach a class called Smart Money Management at church, and in the class we are learning that, okay, God said, I wish above all things that you would prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. So, one, oh, by the way, he said, beloved. So that means he loves you. Okay. I want you to prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Okay. And in another scripture, he says, I've already given you everything to do this. It's 2 times he just said that. Then he said, it is my pleasure to give you these things.
Mm.
Okay, that's 3 times he just said that. And then he says, all you do is seek me first and you get all these things. Just put him first. Okay. So with those 4 statements, when people don't ask him for stuff. So if you know that I need these things to run my business. I need
Mm-hmm.
this amount of money for my expenses for my business or my personal life. And he said, you have not because you don't ask.
Or you don't ask correctly.
Just
You
ask
ask
him.
amiss.
Write down, and I'm challenging you all, what do you need for to run your business in September? Please make a
Mm.
list. Make a list of everything you need for September to run your list. I mean, to run your business in September. Do you need new computer equipment? Do you need a VA? Do you need more capital? What is it that you need to run your business better in September? Write the list down and ask for it.
I love it.
I was like, wait, all we had to do was ask?
That's all he's
Have
asked
you
us to do.
Have you gone to somebody's house and said, please help yourself to anything in the kitchen, whatever's in the refrigerator, help yourself.
Make
Just
yourself to
help
home.
yourself. Make yourself at home.
In
And
other words, treat it like your own house.
right. So what do? When the kids start doing it, and because you brought your kids or grandkids with you, so they're going in the refrigerator getting something to eat, and they are going and playing and doing stuff, making themselves at home, and you're like, no, don't do that. Put that back. Only get one. We act like you've been somewhere, and you're holding the bag when the host said,
Help
"We're
yourself.
home."
you know, and why do we do that? We do that because we don't believe them. We don't believe the words that they spoke. We think that they're
And
just expressions, they're not truisms.
but they said to make yourself at home. Go on in the
Exactly.
refrigerator, get yourself something to eat, have fun, play in the pool, enjoy the house, just enjoy yourself. And we will don't sit on that couch. Stay over here. Do the but they said please come and enjoy.
Because our background included couches with plastic on them, certain rooms you didn't go in, you can't touch this, scarcity, coming from a place of scarcity. When
Right.
there is more than enough, there are more than enough customers. Oh, so and so has umpteen million followers. I can't compete with that. But you don't need umpteen million customers to be successful. Do you understand what I'm saying? And people do this all the time. And I use the example, there are so many people out there making jeans. Do they stop to think that so and so's making jeans? That Levi's has been making jeans since the 1800s? No, they're in the jean business. They just design jeans and do what they do.
Let me put
And
up with Mark. Yeah, because see, you're right. Levi did not stop making jeans just because Jordache came out with some and somebody else came. Oh, Gloria Vanderbilt.
Gloria Vanderbilt, remember
Lord,
that?
we're going way back because other people came out with jeans. Lucky, True Religion, and all these other people are coming out with jeans, and they didn't stop just because Levi was doing it.
Okay.
Okay. Mark says, and if I may, ask once, then receive it. Allow all subsequent prayers to be of gratitude for that which is already unfolding.
I
Look
love
with
it.
expectancy for the open door, windows, gifts that may come in a previously unexpected form. When you are at a restaurant, you order from the waiter or the waitress once. You are not forced to keep ordering. You expect that the food is coming.
I like the
All
analogy. I really
right.
like that. Simple. Yeah.
Hey Gail,
Ask
I
one.
checked the link that I sent you in on Messenger and then on your phone. You can open that link on your computer if you have a
Laptop.
laptop. Open it on your computer in Chrome. Okay, I was like, wait, where am I? Okay, so I like what Mark said here. Ask one time and then be thankful. But you have to
And
ask. So here's
yeah.
the thing. What do you want? And using his restaurant thing, here's the menu.
See.
And you sitting up there, I can't decide. I don't know what I want. Okay,
First of all, are you really limited?
there's no limit. And stop looking for the numbers on the right side of the menu.
Order what you want.
Get what you want. And
We
it's
see
all
this all the
yours.
time. We
Huh?
see this all the time when we take people to lunch for Biz Chicks. People are looking at them. We're saying, just order what you want, and they're looking up what. And I've seen them actually order based on their own pocketbook.
Oh.
So we've taken people to lunch, Francie, and they've said, "Oh, I'm just having coffee." Remember?
Yeah, and we're like,
And we're like,
please eat something more than coffee.
because we get ready to eat. Okay.
And that is what God is telling us. Look, you can have it all. You just ask, what do you want?
There
Instead
you
of
go.
backing up away from what we want.
And looking in our experiences, our pocket, our
It's all the check's been taken care of, as Mark says. We're just supposed to say thank you and enjoy it. Oh, do we know how to enjoy when somebody does something for us? Or are we
oh,
looking for
Have
The
we
other
forgotten how
shoe
to
drop.
receive? Have we forgotten how to receive?
Yes.
Are we looking for strings when we receive?
Because I think a lot of people are looking for strings to be attached.
Because there's so many times people say there's no such thing as a free lunch. You know
But
what
if
I'm saying?
somebody decides to give you a free lunch or somebody wants to buy you a free lunch,
Treat you, yes.
yes, and it's okay. And because everybody looking at side eye, what they want, what else is coming with that? That's because
Uh,
we have dream assassinators, as you alluded to before, and
as mentors.
right, and I'm gonna bring Gail in here in a minute.
Okay.
Mark says, yes, you are more likely to get the cheeseburger with tomato, onion, and ketchup if you ask for it rather than simply hoping that it will arrive. Order it.
Order it. I love it.
I like it. I think order it. Get what you want. What do you want? We don't ask.
And then expect it to show up.
And then we sit back.
Hey, Jerry.
And one more thing before I bring Gail up in here.
Hmm.
Mark said, remember, if you don't receive, others cannot give. You're blocking your
Hmm. And
blessing
you're blocking the
right there.
blessings of us. I agree, Mark. I absolutely agree. And
This
sometimes we have to remind people, you're blocking my blessing. You better take this, girl.
and how many times has God has been trying to get something to us and trying to get
Mm.
something to us, and we're like, no, that can't be true. They
I'm
call us
asking for
on
too
the
much.
phone.
I'm
They
asking for
call,
too much.
they're calling you on the phone to try and give you business.
Answer the phone.
That you asked for, well, you didn't ask for, but and what we're talking about today, imagine that it's going to be that you can do it.
Hmm.
Imagine that it's going to be okay for you to do it. Imagine that, yeah, hey, I can actually have this thing.
Who would have thought that we would be able to have our own TV show? Hey, Gail, how you doing?
Hey,
How you
um,
doing, beautiful?
we may not have been able to do well. We could have done it before, but we would have been in a studio. We would have been bringing in
I'm
cameras.
hearing all kind of echoes.
Oh, we're good.
Are you?
Put on your headphones
Do,
if you have them.
Oh, hmm.
It'll go away. Don't worry about it.
do
Okay.
you have your
Oh,
phone
and
on
turn
also?
your volume halfway down. Turn it to halfway. So we sometimes we would have been in the studio. We would have been bringing in cameras. Are
Oh,
you watching it on Are you watching it on Facebook too? If you are, you probably
Oh,
need
should I
to
turn? I should turn Facebook off, right?
right.
yes.
Right.
There we go. How about
Okay.
that?
Okay.
That's better.
Whew. Man, I was
She's
hearing
like,
all
what is
kinds of
going
stuff.
on?
So the moral of today's conversation for coffee thoughts and conversation is picture it, ponder it, go do it. Don't be afraid to dream big. Don't be
Mm.
afraid to think bigger. And Gail, what do you have to say to that?
You know what? I think that's so true. I mean, I think it was a Muhammad Ali who said, "If you can see it and believe it, you can achieve it." Right? I
Mm.
mean, I think planning is part of making it happen, bringing it to fruition, right?
Mm.
You have to
Yeah.
envision it, but then you know, I recently published a book last year in October, and it had been like 3/4 of the way written for like a year. And
Mm-hmm.
then in my planner, I identified it as a game changer. I said, you know what? If I would finish my book and publish it, that would be a game changer for me. And so
Mm.
it was about pulling it down out of the air and putting some dates around, okay, what needs to happen next? I identified it
Okay.
as a game changer. Then I put the steps to what I needed to do to accomplish the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put dates next to those items, put them in order, and then pushed them out into my planner. And really that's how that book came to fruition is, identifying it that I needed to make that happen. and planning, putting some plans in place to bring it to fruition.
I
So,
think a lot of times when people are writing books, and there are many authors who are in here watching us and listening, I think that sometimes people won't put the pen to paper because they can't see it
wow.
Mm.
working. They can't see who's going to listen to me. Who's going who am I to write something and somebody else is going to read it?
Well,
Who
that's true. I mean, I think that's true for a lot of authors. I did a book signing at Underground Books, and there's a lady in the
Mhm.
front row, and she enunciated that exactly. She said, "I have a book already written," uh, and but she was inspired by the fact that I published the book. So she said she was going to she was going to go home and publish her book because she just needed to be reminded that each of us is unique. And like you said earlier in the show, just because Jordache had jeans, it didn't stop Levi. It didn't stop
Mhm.
all the other jean makers, right? Nobody's
Exactly.
going to express it just like you would. Nobody's going to, yeah, nobody can tell your story, right? So
Mm-mm.
even if it isn't your story, even if it's about a story about overcoming or achieving or whatever, you're like, oh, there's 1,000 stories about that, right? Thank God Maya Angelou didn't say, well, there's already a poem about women. Why do I need to produce a poem on phenomenal women, right? I
Wow.
mean, nobody
Uh-huh.
can say it like she can. Nobody can say it like you can. And sometimes people just need to be reminded. And that's all about, the mindset shift, right? That needs to happen. Uh, but that's what coaches are for. All right. I'm a coach. And there are
Mhm.
a lot of coaches. So if you find yourself like stumbling, I can't get off the pen, can't get that pen out, then there's something
right,
else at work there. And you've got to shift something in the way you're thinking about things. And it
right.
might be a time to go see a coach, whether it's a life coach or a leadership coach. There are a lot of different kind of coaches out there, but
Mhm.
somebody who can help you think about things in a new
Someone to
perspective.
stimulate that imagination.
Yeah, right.
I call it dream resuscitation. We need to clear
Here,
and get and put
You
the
need to get the
breath back
paddles out
into
on your dream. Get the paddles
yeah,
out, right?
put the breath back into some of these dreams.
Yeah,
right.
yes,
And
right.
it's this is what we're doing today to help you resuscitate that dream. Go back in there, write down one big thing that you wanted. There's some stuff that you all wanted to do when you were kids, and you put it away, and all that'll never happen. Uh,
Right.
um, um, what is it? Steve Harvey. He,
Mm.
my husband brought it up today in our call this morning. He said Steve Harvey was about 10 or 12,
Uh-huh.
and the teacher said, write down on your paper what you want to be when you grow up. And so kids are writing firefighter, policeman, nurse, doctor, astronaut, something. He wrote down, I want to be on TV and be a comedian.
Uh-huh.
And so the teacher read all the people's papers and stuff. And then she called him over after class and said, why'd you put this on this paper? Is anybody
Wow.
in your family on TV? Do you know anybody on TV?
Oh
And
my
then he had a
goodness.
Is
problem
there
stuttering.
anybody on TV that looks like you?
Oh my
He
goodness.
had a problem with stuttering. And so he was like, well, so why do so I'm going to call your mom.
Oh my goodness.
And so she pinned the note to him, sent him home. He's being a smart aleck in class. Look what he wrote.
Oh my goodness.
And so the mom looked at it. Steve, what are you doing? You being a smart aleck in the ladies' class? I'm gonna wait till your dad gets home and we're gonna show him this. So mom hopped on the train with the other lady. And so they showed it to his dad. Look what Steve wrote. He said he won't be on TV. His father said, what's wrong with that?
All right. You got to have somebody with some sense, somebody with some hope,
In the
some
in your
in the
corner,
family. Yeah, in your
somebody.
corner.
So he told them, you write here, write this paper, put fire engine and whatever on that paper, give that to the teacher. And on this paper that you wrote, be on TV, look at that every day when you come home. When you go to bed, when you wake up, look at this paper every day. So
Right.
now, are we watching Steve Harvey on TV?
Yeah, he's on TV, ain't he? He's
You know,
everywhere.
he's everywhere on
He's
TV.
And
everywhere.
sometimes when I think about this, Francine, it makes me realize that some of the things that are going to take us where our dreams are headed haven't even been invented yet.
Mm,
Exactly.
I mean, there was no streaming, there was no
mm,
comedian tour, there were no African American comedians on TV. You understand
right?
what I'm saying?
And so
We
it
didn't
was
even have
30.
guest spots.
He didn't get started till he was about 38. And he went
Wow.
through a lot of stuff to get there. But every year after he made it to TV, he sent that teacher a TV to her home every year until she passed away. He would tell her,
Watch me on
he sent
TV.
her a TV for Christmas.
Wow.
And she said, Steve, thank you. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these TVs, but I'm gonna have to give them away because I can't, watch them all. I always knew you was gonna be something.
Ah, he said, that's not what you told me. Right.
And
You know what? I mean, you really do have to have positive people in your corner,
right.
and you can't take everybody with you, right, on your journey. Uh,
Amen.
you can't. You're gonna lose some folks.
Right.
People who
You got to
refuse
put
to have
some people
vision.
out the boat.
Huh?
And,
Yeah, yeah.
and Mark says, I write a blog. Sorry, Gail, I'll put you back
Yeah.
up in a minute. I write a blog piece every day. I'm plagued by the idea that no one reads it. It will, or no one reads it, will read it, finds it valuable, etc. I let it go. I decided that it is mine to do. If it helps awaken the wisdom of one person, even if it's 10 years from now, then it was worth it. And I may never even know about it.
Wow.
And that is so
Powerful.
true. How many of us are listening to Miles Monroe since
Hmm.
his passing? How many of us
Mm,
are listening to uh, Oral Roberts or
mm, mm.
Kenneth Hagin or
Right.
other people who have passed on, Frederick Douglass, people who have written things and who have done work. We're listening
Martin Luther
to,
King,
watching
his
their videos and
letters.
doing other things, but
Hmm.
they're not here. But
Right.
what if they never would have wrote the book,
That's
did
right.
the video,
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
stood up and made the speech?
Mark,
Hmm.
I think it's so noble, what you say, even if it's just one person, right? I may never know about it, right? Uh, because nobody can write your book, nobody can write your blog. It is yours to write, and so congratulations for getting it done day after day or whenever you do it, because it is yours to write, and you're just sharing wisdom, right? And and that's how it is for a lot of writers. Sometimes writers just have journals at home that never get published, right? But they
Mm.
have to write.
And,
Uh,
and all that wisdom is sitting
yeah,
there in their house, and we don't have the benefit of it.
right,
Mm.
right.
But the technology is such that everybody watching this show, you can write a blog. You don't
Yeah,
have to have no. You don't have to have a technology degree to
Mm.
do it. You need Medium.
yeah,
Mhm.
Go to medium.com. Start writing your blog. Go to Facebook. You can write blogs on Facebook.
yeah, yeah,
You can do different things. You don't have to be stuck. There's ways of getting your voice out there, getting your story out there, getting hope to someone who's going to read it. And
And
Mark, my prayer
resuscitating.
every day is to use me, allow my gifts and talents to be of use to others today.
yeah. I
That's
have to tell you, I
beautiful.
have to share you something. God
Hmm.
had given me, reached me way last year, about a year and a half ago in Las Vegas, and told me, don't forget about my people. Don't forget about Kingdom people, because I was speaking at places like Dell and a lot of corporate and business places, right?
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget about my people. And so I began to, I spoke at St. Paul Church. I spoke to their leaders once because I'm a leadership coach. So I was going to places typically that would have typical like leadership experience, but churches have leadership issues too, just like the world does. And so
Yes.
I was speaking at a few churches, but churches were, um, they have their own posse of people that speak to them. So they're not as easy to get into. So I wasn't finding it very easy to break into the church realm. But when I was at my book signing at Underground Book, and very transparent about the role that God played in my recovery and my transformation, and I had a couple of divine appointments right there at the book signing, right? And it was just a confirmation to me that you don't have to be in church for God to use you, for use your message. And it was just so rich. And so it was probably the most satisfying experience I had since I've been doing book signings, and I'd done 9 at that point. Um, but God can reach you everywhere. And one lady stayed
Mm-hmm.
after we ministered and talked at the coffee house next door afterwards. But it was just a rich experience. My husband said, Gail, you got it all done. You were relaxed. It was like sipping brandy, And so, he's a fan. So, but it was cool to hear um, that it was a rich experience for me, but it was a rich experience for the audience as well. And
Mm-hmm.
God was in it, right? God was in the place, right? And
There you
so,
go.
so when we're doing what God tasked us to do, we can expect it to feel good. We can expect it to reach people and touch people, and we just have to make ourselves available, like Mark does in his blog, like I do in my book and my book signing, like you do on Bits Chicks. When you give God the glory, we don't forsake him. We remember him as we go out there and speak our truths to the world. And so
Mm.
it is important. It is important that we are on point and on mission and on purpose, right? And
Yes.
I think as long as we're doing those things, we're going to be successful, at least in his eyes, right?
Yes, because success in the wrong assignment is failure.
Right?
You know.
And so, what we're trying to help people understand, be where you're supposed to be. It's
Mhm.
okay. It's okay if you don't look like everybody else that's making 6 figures because you really don't know how they got the 6 figures. It's
And you
all
don't know how their life is.
really
How, you don't know what they're going through to get those 6 figures. I mean,
exactly
Mm-hmm.
because it's not what you have, it's how you got it.
yeah.
And
And it's more than just having things, right? It's
right,
how your
Yes.
life feels to you, right? If you can't breathe, if you got to go to hospital because you got anxiety, that's not a good life. I don't care how much money
No.
you're making,
No.
right? So,
Mm-mm.
it's how
Mm-hmm.
life feels. Are you able to
Mm-hmm.
breathe? Are you able to feel good and get a good night's sleep and get your exercise and get some balance and have good loving? Life is about balance. A good life is about balance.
There you go. A good life is about.
and it's you just I'm sticking to my story today. Please dream big. Go do something. Go find something in
Yes.
your childhood, something that you always wanted to do. I said I wanted to be a model, and
All right
because
now.
um, I I um, I actually did model when I was in my teens, in little pageants and stuff in high school. And he said, "You are a model. You model for me now."
All
And
right now.
so you dress, he will help you dress, he will
All
help
right
you
now.
do everything you need to do to be a model.
I will tell you this. That just spoke to me because in this society, it's
Mm-hmm.
not right, but people are attracted to beautiful things,
They are.
right? And when you model for God and you look good for him, people and you have him inside of you already anyway. So
Right.
they're already going to be attracted to you, but the outside package looks good too. It's just more attractive. So,
Right.
uh, right. So keep modeling for God, Francine.
Well, and that, I mean, that's what he said. He said,
Yeah,
okay, you go on stage. All of us are on stage every day.
Mhm.
I'm telling you.
This life is a runway. So what
Yes.
are you going to do? Who are you representing?
Yeah.
So when you head out, okay, we talked about this before. Cameras are everywhere. The
Oh,
cameras are rolling literally now. People are, you can be in somebody's shot and didn't even realize that you were in the shot.
I'm
So
telling you.
but you bring out your best when you step out the house.
Amen. Amen.
So,
Mm.
we are modeling. We do, and there are other things he's asked us to do or called us to do, and they're going to be bigger than you, but you have help. He will send people to help you. He will
Amen.
send the resources to, you don't even have to worry about where am I going to get the money for that. You don't have to worry about that. Just ask. Like Mark said, ask one time.
And expect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Expect that it's going to come to pass.
And it could
Amen.
be under construction, like the internet.
Right.
Here
Yeah.
he is,
And it's
Yeah.
and
okay if
he's
it's under
10 years
it's
old.
okay. It's
Yeah.
if it's under construction. Because
Sometimes he's perfecting us, right? So
Oh,
right,
that
too.
when we get to that big moment, that we're ready, right?
Hmm.
yeah,
So
so
it's
that you're ready to go on stage. Because like, wait a minute. Because he also doesn't want stuff to have you when you get there. And like you said earlier, Gail, and forgetting him, he doesn't want you to forget him when you get out there.
I
Forget
know you're right. You're right. You forgot. You think it's
how
all
you
on you. You think you did it all by yourself, right?
Sometimes we do get a little
Yeah.
egotistical about how we got there. We
oh,
Yeah.
I'm
forget.
a self-made woman.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. Yeah.
no, you're not. You're not
Yeah.
self-made. Sorry,
Oh my gosh.
you
Mm.
cannot be self-made. There's too many people involved to help for
Right.
you to be self-made, and people really, I'm a self-made man. No, you're not.
Yeah. 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 I hear that. I hear
Wow.
that sometimes.
But let us dream big, think big, and expect big.
And then go do big.
Yeah. And then, put the work in, right?
Right,
Put the
Yes.
work in. My nephew used to want to be an NBA player, but
Hmm.
he had the height, but he didn't want to practice basketball. Now,
Uh,
how does that work? Okay.
wh-
How is it you're not going to go to basketball practice, but you want to be an NBA player? No, you got to put the work in, right?
right.
Dream big, but let's go get the work done. All right.
Here's Mark's comment again. Worry is rehearsing for something that you don't want to happen. I am able to let go when I realize that ultimately it is not about me anyway. I am a vessel, a means, etc. So your distribution center, you are a conduit through whom he works to get a message, to get money, to get
Mhm.
provision, to do something for someone else. You are a conduit.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not, but when the water runs through the pipe, doesn't the pipe get wet too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to miss out on anything.
Yeah.
And
No, it feels good to be used by God.
it really
We've
does.
done that. When you're used by Him, you get blessed too. It's just a blessing.
It really is. And you are like, you don't have
Mhm.
to worry about what you're going to eat, what you're going to put on, what you're going to wear, where you're going to sleep. You don't have to worry about all of that. He's got that stuff covered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I not a witness?
Terry is a big witness. She said,
All
look,
right.
my bags went to Sac or somewhere. The plane
Yeah.
stopped, and she's like, "Oh, I'm just going to Philadelphia or
Uh-huh.
Pennsylvania."
Yeah,
But
I went to Philly and caught the train, and now I'm in Harrisburg, just chilling. I have clothing is being provided, food's
Good. All
provided,
right. All right.
transportation. The two cars in the garage. I'm sitting on the sub porch.
and she's not coughing up a dime.
This
Yes.
is God is just good, and so yeah, provision is there.
For whatever
We
that
just
dream is, the
relax.
provision has already been made. So let's
Mm-hmm.
think about this. Before, and we got about 6 minutes, before he put Adam on the planet, he prepared the planet. He prepared
Mm-hmm.
everything before Adam got to the planet. He
Mm-hmm.
put the fish, the animals, the plants, everything. And he didn't cause the garden to grow up until there was somebody to take care of it. So he kind of
Mm.
just misted the ground
There was
and
no one to tend it.
until somebody got there to tend it. But he had put everything in position, then put Adam in there. It's the
Mm.
same thing for us. He's prepared all of our environment for us to thrive if we listen to him and we're listening to the right people. The environment is set for you to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know that about him. You know, they give him a bad rap. Ah, God just wants to kill you. And no, he's got so much more in store for you. And it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
All
It's all
good.
good. Yeah.
And I was
It's
like, huh, wait a minute. Okay,
Mm.
so what am I? I'm not supposed to be worried about stuff. Nobody on this planet is supposed to worry about what they're going to eat, where they're going to sleep. And we have people who are doing that. Taki says, just go, don't stop.
just go, don't stop. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
We're
Yep. Yep.
working and we don't need to worry about how it's going to happen. That's not our responsibility. We're just supposed to act.
So, what was the question that Mark asked? If I, how did he frame that? If
He
I
said,
were
let me go back
brave,
and get it. He said, if I were brave, I would.
would.
I'm going to put it back up. Here it is.
Hmm.
A good place to
So
begin is
people,
often, if I were brave, I would. What would you do if you were brave? If you
Oh
knew
my
you
goodness.
if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you ask for?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's my dream to hold a retreat um, for rest, relaxation, restoration, for
restoration.
regenerating. Yeah, at some beachy location where I am, where there are workshops and wellness shops. I mean, all kinds of things for people
So,
at some foreign location. So that's my dream. If I were
Oh,
brave,
we
I
already.
would throw caution to the wind and not worry about where the money was going to come for, or that I'm going to lose money on this
so,
And
and
plan,
get busy.
we can,
so
yeah.
I'm challenging you. Did you write that down?
Oh, my dream. Oh no, I have it. I know. I know my dream. It's there.
Okay, no,
It's in there.
okay. I understand
We're
that.
talking
Is
about
it
what you
on a
would
piece
do
of
if you were
paper?
brave.
Is it on the paper? Okay, good. So you have the 3R retreat, and where's it being held? Are we going to
Somewhere
Paris?
beachy. I'm somewhere beachy. See the palm tree? I don't
Okay,
know
good.
Uh-huh.
yet. Yeah, somewhere beachy.
We're going to Monaco.
Well,
Oh, Monaco.
what
No, I think we might be going to
Tuscany?
Mexico or um, the other thing I thought about is I recently have been thinking I wanted to do it African American women, and so I wanted to do it in like Africa or
Well,
Jamaica,
Gail, they
Jamaica,
have a
Africa. Yeah.
new line of for Airbnb called luxury where you can rent
I saw that.
villas.
I
And
saw that.
so
And the
I
entire
suggest
villa
that
is
you,
like 5 G's or less. Come on, let's go.
you know what I'm saying?
Now
Oh,
here's
I thought it was luxury places to stay owned by African American people. I
no,
thought
these
that
are
was
No, it's all over the
no,
world.
this is the villa,
Airbnb.
the Airbnb
oh
and
yeah.
Yes.
the entire villa.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I can see
Okay,
that. I can
so
see
that
that.
you can do however you want to do that.
So you can have
I'm just
your,
saying we need to go someplace. Now, Terry, we've been invited to go to Edinburgh, Scotland,
I know, we
by
need,
Ramsey. So,
yes.
and he wanted us to do a biz chicks from
Dave
Scotland.
Ramsey?
No,
Yeah. No.
Edinburgh, Ramsey Fraser. He's over in Edinburgh, Scotland,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
he wanted us to bring biz chicks to Scotland.
Oh
We
man.
need to go. I got a
Yes, we,
passport.
I don't have a
I
heart
do
for
too.
Scotland at all.
Well, but
I
that's
Usually.
go.
okay. But Biz Chicks is international.
Okay. All
We
right.
need to go.
And I have my passport in my purse.
Okay.
You know
Yep,
I
I
don't
got my
need
passport
luggage.
too. He invited us
Did
to
you
go.
hear me?
You understand? Do we
I
see
don't
these
need
things,
luggage.
and sometimes the bigness of it may seem like, oh, it's going to be a lot of work. Well, not necessarily. He'll bring the people to help get the work done.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think about the cost of of securing a venue.
But see, that's the
Yeah.
thing. You don't have to secure the cost. That's not your responsibility. Your
No.
responsibility is write it down and ask for it.
All right now. I
And
hear you.
invite the people.
And invite the people. Tell them we're going here on this
Pick
date.
a
Uh-huh.
date. Pick a
Yeah.
date and start signing people up.
Right.
I
Just like
accept
you
the
did with the
challenge.
book. Just just like you did with the book.
Right.
Girl, you know I already tried that and I've already backed out, told myself, no.
See, but
Gail,
you
it's
See?
too
know that
soon. The date is
Well,
too
now
soon.
you got some cheerleaders.
All
right.
right, all right.
And Gail, get out of your purse. He didn't
You
ask you
got
to fund it.
okay. You got some
Right.
cheerleaders. Let's
It's,
go.
it's just like grandma and grandpa is going to fund your college trip. They didn't tell us, they didn't say for you to go in your pocket and try to pay for that.
All right now.
Okay.
All right. I hear
He
you.
said he take care of it. So let's
All
let
right.
him do so.
All right. I'm gonna do it.
So
All
what
right.
is your, we want to know, everybody watching on this, what's your brave? What's your thing that you will be brave and do? Put it in the chat or put it over on the Biz Chicks page or text it to us or send us a direct message if you want, if you don't want to tell everybody, or write it on your own paper. But what will you do to be brave
If
today? What's your brave
today.
moment?
And then go out and listen to Sarah Bareilles' Brave. And she says, I want to know what your brave is. She's got a song out for
Okay.
that. She's got
What
a
would
song out
you
for
do?
that.
Okay, that is our conversation for today. Thank you, Gail, for stepping in and conversating with us, and Mark and Jerry and Janice was here, and who else
Mm-hmm.
did we have? Jill and
Jill was here.
Laura. It was a good conversation.
Thank you guys.
Down something real big and put it on your wall so that you see it every time you walk in the room.
I got it.
We're looking to hear about that, Gail.
Yeah,
So we
we're
can
looking to
promote it.
some stuff we got to do too. Be
It's
brave.
gotta
Okay.
come. It's gotta come. The coach has got to coach herself. All right
No,
now.
you just need a cheerleader, girl. You didn't need a coach. You already had it written down. You just need a cheerleader. Here we go.
Here
We're
we go.
ready.
Here we go.
All
All
right.
right. Thank
Okay.
you.
We love you, girl.
Have a good day. Have a good week, everybody.
Stay put, Gail. Don't move. So
Okay.
we'll talk to you in a little bit next Monday. We're going to have another fantastic conversation. But thank you all for being brave and showing up here. And Terry, what else do you want to tell us?
We just want to remind everybody, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
I
Bye
love
bye.
that line.